All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting back from the national team, which I like to call. Well, I guess some national teams have to play the World Cup qualified games, but the big tournament really was the National League, which is basically a side league for national teams. So it was around a quarterfinal, and they played the first leg and the second leg, and now we have the semi-final teams settle. So in the quarterfinal, it was Netherlands versus Spain, and then we had Croatia versus France, and then we had Denmark versus Portugal, and we had Italy versus Germany. So just coming into this game, you're assuming. I mean, for me, I thought, what is it? The Spain team will have no problem, like no problem, obviously coming through. Right? They're the best team in Europe, I think, national wise. Well, I mean, it could be a little bit debated. You can say the French are good. I don't know. We'll find out next round because the French obviously is going to be playing the Spanish, and then we'll find out who's really about it. But for me, I think the Spaniards are the best team in Europe. The Netherlands are a team who's always there. You know, what I mean, they never have the best players, but they have enough decent players that they always go farther than you would think in every tournament. They always surprises you in any tournament they play. You know, and this was no different. This was the kind of the same. And this game, obviously, at the beginning of it, even Spain, one thing problem with the Spain is having is that they don't have their defense. Like their defense is not as solid as it used to be. Even Kubasi was out of this game on the first leg, and he didn't play the second leg. And they had some injury, but you could say the same thing about the Netherlands as well. I mean, they also had some defenders not being there as well. But nevertheless, going in this game, they're playing at home with the Netherlands, and I don't know if Spain beat them at home. No, I'm not sure if they beat them, the Netherlands at home. But either way, as this game went on, the Netherlands really surprised everybody. I mean, it literally looked like they were going to win this whole thing. But the problem is this: the Spaniards, you can never doubt them. You know, Lamar was having a terrible time, but again, whenever Lamar is having a terrible time, you have Nico William who's having a great time. So they always are like they just have too much firepower at the top to really feel settled. Like in the first leg, Spain had 15 shots, 6 on target. Netherlands only had 10 shots, 4 on target though. And out of those 4 on target, they had 2 goals out of it. Now, sadly, after was it Netherlands was dominating most of the game, and then Spain was dominating most of the game, I would say, but Netherlands was just more clutch. Like they knew exactly, they had a plan, they knew what they were gonna do. Whenever Spain messed up, you feel like the Netherlands would just some way somehow they were just very clutch. Like their passes was a lot cleaner. Their connection was just so much better, right? They knew that Spain had too much talent over them, so they were just more technical. So they had to be extremely technical and not really mess up at all. Their midfield was solid, right? So anyway, the first leg really, when they were a goal ahead, it really looked like this is it. Oh man, they're gonna win, you know. But right when they got a red card, you felt that Spain was ultimately gonna score a goal, and that's basically what happened. Spain scored a goal, and now you go back to Valencia to play the second leg. So on the second leg, it was going to be in Valencia. It's going to be on Spain home soil. So you're expecting Spain, since they tied the last round, you're assuming them to finish it off, at this game. And really, at the beginning of the game, it kind of looked like that. They had a penalty first, and it was a clear penalty. And after that, it seems like Spain has fully controlled the game. I mean, even the stats is not doing justice how much control they were in this game. The stat says they had about 55% of the possession, but it felt like they had more. They were fully much in control of the game. But the problem was that Netherlands was also trying to win this. They weren't going to just take it. Netherlands had 16 shots and 9 of them were on target. Spain had 19 shots and 9 on target as well. Okay? So they basically came, and they really came to play. So as the game is going on, I think the Netherlands penalty was pretty soft. I felt like the ref was trying to equalize it by giving the Netherlands a penalty as well. Anyway, they get a penalty. Now it's 1-1. We're in the second half of the game, and it kind of, now Spain really needs to get going. But really, I never felt like Spain wasn't going to score a goal because they still had a bunch of chances, like a lot of chances. So as the game went on, it would be like the Netherlands will score, and then Spain's going to score. Spain scores, Netherlands scores. It's just kind of like back and forth as well. So as the game went on, Spain gets the second goal again on the 76 minutes. And then as the game is going on, 10 minutes later, Netherlands matches them, gets another goal. And it's a clear goal. And it just felt that Spain defense was just not there. You know what I mean? The goals that Spain was scoring, they were very worthy goals. You know what I mean? They were really fighting for those goals. But from the Netherlands side, it just felt like it was just like a clear defender mistake, each of these goals. That's what it felt like. But either way, Netherlands gets 2 penalties, and the game is going. And even the Lamar goal, when Lamar scored the third goal, you're assuming it's over. Like, that's it. It's a great goal. Lamar was having this problem scoring a goal the whole game, and this was it. This was like an icing on the cake for him as well. So he scores the goal, and you're assuming it's a winner goal. We're done with this, but no, it's not. Some way, somehow, Netherlands gets another penalty by Xavi, and he scores it. So now it's like 3-3, and then we basically have to go to penalty. So we went to penalty, and obviously when you go to penalty, it just depends on the goalkeeper. And I think Spain's goalkeeper he's good at penalty. Like, not just this game, but like in general, this guy is really, really good at penalty. And I just knew that he was going to have the upper hand. And that's exactly what happened. The Spaniards came through, and that's it. That's about it in that game. The Spaniards deserved to win, and they came through. But nevertheless, it was an epic game. Like, it was just back and forth the whole time. I just feel like if it's a Spanish player, you're just like, man, when are these guys going to die? It was kind of like the same thing with, the Argentina felt during the World Cup against Netherlands. It's just like the Netherlands just never quit. They're always known to be there. Great team. But anyway, Spain comes out, and then on the second one, it was the Croatia versus France. And the first leg for them, Croatia destroyed France. France looked lost. You know what I mean? They didn't. Honestly, Croatia could have got way more goals. And I think that was the problem, though. They had a penalty that they didn't score on the first leg. And, they had a lot of chances, really. You know what I mean? And that's not to say France didn't have shots. France had 16 shots, and 6 of them were target. But on the Croatia side, they had 8 shots, 4 on target. Out of those 4 shots on target, they scored 2 goals. For France, all the 6 shots on target, they didn't score. Kylian Mbappe hasn't scored. He might be going to the 10 game now, right? He's on a drought. But again, Spain lineup is insane. They have everybody. If you have Kylian Mbappe and in Dembele, dude, that's already solid, okay? And then you put Kalisa in there. Brother. You get what I'm saying? So Spain was pretty solid. It had a world-class players, but some way, somehow, the formation, the combination, none of it really matched. It seemed like they were still trying to figure something out, okay? And I don't know why Kalisa didn't start this game. Maybe that was the problem. But nevertheless, they lost the game, and Croatia looked better team. And the French still had most of the possession of the game as well. They had like 62% of the possession. You get what I'm saying? But they did nothing with it. Like, it looked like every time the Croatian break off, they looked like they were going to score. So on the second leg, it was going to be on French home soil. And after this game, the criticism came hard. Okay? They're like, how do you guys performing this terrible while having these world-class players? Like, get it together. So the second leg, when they were playing at home, they really showed out. I felt like they went out for lunch, a team meeting or something, and they said, yo, what is this? We need to wake up. Let's wake up. And then on the second leg, they got the lineup right. Dembele was in the right position. Elise started in the right position. So he's basically going to be a replacement for Griezmann because Griezmann retired. So he's basically the new guy, right? So he's supposed to be the one who connects the midfield to the forward. Like, he's supposed to get the ball from the midfield and bring it to the forward. And he was doing that perfectly. It was just his game. He was the best player in the game, and there were so many chances that, he created for them. In fact, he scored the first goal, and he assisted the second goal as well. This game really, though, didn't really kickstart until the second half. Even then, the French still had perfectly the possession. It was the same kind of possession again. It was 62-38, and then shots were like 28 shots. They took 28 shots, but only 8 on target. On the other side, Croatia only had 5 shots, 0 on target. Okay? I think for Croatia's plan, they were just trying to sit back and really buy themselves some time. I think that's what they were trying to do. They're like, we're known for defending, so we're just going to, we are 2 goals ahead. Let's just chill out. That's what they were thinking. They really weren't going forward. And every time they tried to get out of their half, France would just step on them. They were stepping on them the whole game. And finally, after that beautiful free kick goal by Olise, then you just knew. The French are back. They're going to, some way, somehow, they're going to score the second goal. And then beautiful connection from Olise to Dembele. 2-0. Now we have ourselves a game. And then you're thinking after the second goal that Croatia will come out. But really, at this point, Croatia was just like, I think deep inside they knew that they were gonna lose this game, you know. But nevertheless, they kept the cool, they kept their defense straight, and they just kind of suffer until what is it? Regular time was over. Extra time comes in, they play again, nothing. Eventually, they go to penalty, and the better team wins with the penalties. Like, who's gonna be the calmest? Who's more experienced? And the French were just more experienced. What is it? Their goalkeeper just was a better goalkeeper. At the end when it comes to penalty. Anyway, you can say the French got lucky, but I just think they just played better, and it just kind of worked out for them. So they're coming through, and they'll be playing Spain. And then on the other one is Portugal versus Denmark. Now, Portugal versus Denmark, the first leg, obviously, again, it seems like these national teams, they need like a game to get themselves together. I felt like Portugal need to get their mojo together, get more criticized, kind of the same way the French, you know what I mean? They lost to Denmark on the first leg. Old-fashioned they are. They came back on the second leg strong. I mean, they scored 5 goals. If you score 5 goals at the semifinal of any tournament, that's pretty much dominance. There's no other way of saying it, And on the first leg, they just weren't really that on it, even though they had, most of the possession. They didn't take that much shots. They really weren't getting much shots on goal at all. They only had 2 shots on target. Denmark had 23 shots and 9 on target on the first leg. So they got a goal on that, which well deserved. So I thought that I thought Denmark was the better team and they deserved it. Okay, but on the second leg, they went out for dinner. That's what I'm thinking, and the motivation really kicked in. And on the second leg, again, I feel like it's a home advantage kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? They came to home, and in front of their crowd, they just were not going to let that happen. And after that first own goal that happened, it kind of really, I would say, it breaks the spirit. It really breaks the spirit. But even then, as this game was going on, you felt that Denmark had it. Denmark had this, okay? I mean, they were coming back every time. Every time they were coming back. But really, it got to a point where Portugal just has a lot more players on their bench. Whenever these players retire, the people who are replacing them are just better players. They just have more quality players. That really what got to them. Eventually, as the game went on, we had extra time, and that's it. That's it. Extra time really gets to people. Extra time goes, you got to have some really good quality players. And I was kind of happy this game didn't go to penalty like the other 2 games. We had a clear-cut winner, and Portugal was clear-cut winner. They had 18 shots, 11 on target. Denmark had 14 shots, 4 on target. You know what I'm saying? The possession was on the Portugal side, and this was one of those games where Portugal had to win. There was just no other way, looking at it. So congratulations to Portugal. They came through. Ronaldo scores again. The guy's been scoring. Man, this guy, I mean, he's 40 now. I have no doubt in my mind that he wants to play in the World Cup next year. Not he wants to, but he will play in the World Cup next year. I should say that. 100%. He's playing. Anyway, so Portugal comes through, and they will be playing against Germany. So the next one was Germany and Italy. Really, I feel bad for the Italians because they didn't really do that bad at all. I mean, they could have won this game. Pretty much they could have won this game. It's just that they just weren't efficient enough, and the Germans are just efficient. You get what I'm saying? They were just that little bit better. The first leg was in Italy, and they still lost at home. If you lose at home and then you go back to Germany, I mean, you already lost the home advantage. At their home soil, they took 13 shots, 6 on target, and they only had 41 possession. On the other hand, the Germans had 10 shots, 4 on target, but they had most of the possession. So the Germans just really took their chances, and they were kind of like, all right, we're good on it, and we'll just wait to take it home and finish off the game. So on the second leg, it was going to be in Germany, and really the Germans just needed to score 1 or 2 goals, and I think they were going to be fine. And after that game, you kind of assuming that there's no way the Germans are not going to win on their own, at their home soil. You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. If they just beat them at Italy, why would they not beat them in Germany? That's kind of the mindset that I had. So anyway, so the shots, 22 shots for Germany, 8 on target. For Italy, 9 shots, 3 on target. The possession was about the same as the last game. The momentum and the speed of the game was kind of about the same, really. And I think I think the Germans really just hammered in as quick as they can. They got a penalty. Musiala gets that great goal from the corner kick from Kimmich. And it was a moment where the Italian players would like yell at each other. Even the goalkeeper comes out, they're talking to each other, and they just took advantage of that, and they got a goal out of it, open net. And after that second goal, I just felt that the game was pretty much over, and I think the Germans themselves felt that way as well. So after they scored that goal, and they added another goal to it to 45 minutes, that was it for them. After that first half, they got their goals. To them, it was done. But Italy made some changes on the second half. Moise Kean, this kid has been fantastic this year. Just in the Serie A, he's been great scoring goals. He's finally back to his best. That's what I'd say. He's having one of the best season he had. And this game, he was basically the guy who brought him back to life. So he scores the first goal, and that first goal was an amazing goal, right? But again, the Germans are kind of just like whatever. You know what I mean? They're still were doing subs. They were taking people out, taking people in. They weren't really taken serious. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, another goal by Moise Kean again. 2. Now, are the Germans feeling any different? No, we're in the 70 minutes at this point. And then 75 comes in. You get what I'm saying? The game is going. Italy's doing some changes. Italy's like really hammering on. They're trying to get more goals. But sadly, the last goal they get was towards the end. It was like 90 plus minute, and it was just too late. They were really trying to make a fight coming back, but it was just too late. And yeah, so they're out. The Germans come through. So in the semifinal, is going to be Germany versus Portugal, and then Spain versus France. These are the big boys in Europe, okay? So, I mean, I didn't really like the National League first, but if we're getting games like these, this is amazing. Like, we're literally getting some of the best games when it comes to the national teams. Spain versus France, that's going to be a fire game. Portugal versus Germany, another fire game. So these games will be played June the 4th and June the 5th. Do not miss it. It's going to be a great, great game. So for me, I think the Germans are going to come through over the Portugal, and I think Spain's going to beat France. I mean, that's a very hard thing to say because the French is looking super scary, okay? But I just think the quality that Spain has, and I think their back will eventually, the players are coming back. I just think Spain can do it. They can find a way, some way, somehow, they'll get it. That's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see, okay? Okay, the last game we'll talk about is Argentina versus Brazil, okay? This is one of the biggest games in the world. Argentina, world champions. Brazil, one of the greatest football teams, national football teams in the World Cups, right? And we're at the World Cup qualifier. Brazil is the only team who has never not qualified for the World Cup. I think Argentina missed like 2, I believe. But Brazil has been to every one of them. Okay? So they're usually, when you think about South America, you're thinking about these 2 teams. And mostly it's Brazil and then Argentina. That's how it's always been. I would say the past 6 years, it's been Argentina and then Brazil. The last 6 times they played, Argentina had the better hand. Okay, I think it was like 2 ties and 3 wins, I believe. And this win was just nuts. This win comes in the back of Lionel Messi not being there. Lautaro Martinez is not there. Okay, but you know who's there? Julian Alvarez. And you know who they put beside him to play as striker? Enzo Fernandez. Now, apparently this guy, he might not be great when he plays for Chelsea, but when he's at the national team, apparently he can be a striker too. And he was great. Right? I mean, this is a team that I felt that even before the game, Rafinha is one player who's having the time of his life. He's having a great season. And he did an interview before the game, and he was talking smack. He's like, we will beat them tonight. There's no questions about it. We'll effing beat them. That's what he said. Like, he was using the F word. He was dropping the bombs. And he was saying that, like, tonight's the night. They don't even know what's about to hit them. That's how he was talking. And on the for real, this is a Brazil team who I don't think I've seen Brazil this week in a long time. I mean, for some reason they have Vinicius, they have Rodri, and they have Rafinha, but these guys did nothing. Sometimes you forget that they're even in the game. There'll be burst of moment where Vinicius has a ball and he kind of runs through the defenders, but it comes out to nothing. He'll just throw the ball in there with not a target in mind, really. It just feels like he's an out-of-place player. Okay? These are the stats of the game. 12 shots, Argentina. 7 on target. and they had most of the possession. I'm talking about 56%. Brazil had 3 shots and only 1 on target. And the 1 on target was the goal that they scored. And that goal was scored because it got to a point where, so as the game went on, immediately Joel Alvarez scores the first goal in the 4th minute of the game. At this moment, you're like, okay, you just needed a goal. Argentina is a team that once they score a goal on you, it's very hard for you to come back at them because they're very much solid in the middle. You get what I'm saying? It's going to take a lot of work for you to get that goal back. So they get that first goal. And then they get the second goal at the 12th minute. And it's a great goal, okay? After the second goal, you're assuming this game is done. And that's what Argentina felt like as well. Argentina was playing the way they did to, you know, when they played against Netherlands, they were just kind of like passing around. They're getting cocky. That's how they start acting. And usually that's where it comes to bite them, okay? So Argentina was playing cool. It felt like they were dominating the game. They had no problem. They're playing at home, you know. What is it? And Brazil just looks like they're out of place. I mean, they just were not ready for this game. And like I said, Rafinha made that interview talking all smack. And I'm sure these guys heard about the interview and they remember what he said. So I'm sure that just gave them extra motivation. A time where, you know, Argentina is having their golden year. And the Brazil is having some of the worst time of their history. Why would you talk smack? That's all I'm saying. Why would you do it? I get that you're having a great run. I get that you want to be the leader for the team to really motivate them. But why talk? That was a mistake. And I think Argentina took that personal. So they were playing at home. And I think they were like, we're going to really show them. We're going to really show them. And that's what they did. So after that second goal, they were just passing the ball around and just chilling. Just chilling, okay? So, obviously, sometimes you can chill a little bit too much. You get what I'm saying? And that's basically what happened. They chilled a little bit too much, and Christian Romero, that's what happened. He messed up the ball, and Matthias took advantage of that, and he scored a goal. So, that was the only goal on target they had the whole game, and they scored that goal. So, at the 25th minute, they get a goal back, and you're thinking like, oh, are they really going to do it? 11 minutes later, they score another beautiful goal. Fernandez and Alex Maxter. Great connection. Third goal. At this point, it's over. And that's when the fighting starts, okay? That's really what happens in these games. Whenever one team feels like there was just no way coming back, that's when the fighting starts. And out of anybody else, you know who starts the fight? Rafinha. Rafinha's upset because he said some things, right? Now he's not backing up. He was talking smack, but he's not backing up. So now he's frustrated. He's not getting his way. They all yelling at each other. Why are you passing this ball this way? What is it? Vinicius is telling people that, you know, he has two Champions League. You guys don't have any Champions League. You got Rodri telling Perez that he has nothing. And he's telling him, like, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I have a Copa America and a World Cup. What do you have? Do you have a World Cup? I don't think so. Which one's more important? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's basically trying to stun on each other instead of somebody really making something happen. Especially for Brazil, this is not a time for them to try to stun on anybody because they're terrible. They're doing a terrible job. You know what I mean? And I think even the Brazilian people know this. So at this point, the coach is definitely getting fired because they need a new coach. I mean, there's just not that much talented players left in Brazil. I don't know if anybody was ever going to say that. Neymar needs to come back. Like, some way, somehow, Neymar needs to come back. Because there's no identity. I don't even know who's the center point is for Brazil. But for Argentina, there's so many center points. I mean, their captain is not even on this game, and they're doing just fine. They looked amazing. So the game went on. It just felt that Brazil was just extremely frustrated. Nothing they're doing is working, right? And out of nowhere, Sanimune's son comes in. I think this might be one of his first call as well. And, you know, this guy, he's having a great time. For Atletico, he's been great this season. He's the coach's son, yes, but he deserves the position he's in. This was no favoritism or anything like that. The kid deserves it fully. He's been working his butt off. And even this game, right when he comes in, even the goal that he scored, if you look at it, it looked like that goal wasn't even going to be scored. It looked like it was going out. It was a bad pass. That's what you would think. But some way, somehow, the kid put it back into the net. And then after that goal, it's pretty much over. And then right when they finished the 90 minutes, again, another fight started. Pushing, shoving. Nobody's happy. It's pretty embarrassing. So I don't know where Brazil's going to go from here. I'll say the only way back from this is I bring Neymar back. That's the only thing I can see them. The World Cup is next year. With this team, with the same coach, with this tactic, they're going to be embarrassed. And we already seen Brazil get embarrassed. We don't need to see that again. Okay? But yeah, that's all I got. The lesson here is that never talk smack against a team that you know they're better than you. Or a team that you haven't beaten in a while. Or if you're going to talk smack, make sure you back it up. They didn't back it up. Rafinha didn't back it up. And now it's just embarrassing. You know? And you get frustrated. You start, it doesn't help you. And it doesn't help your team as well. Anyway, that's it. That's all we got here. Don't talk smack if you can't back it up.